In less than a decade, Nvidia transformed from a gaming graphics company into the central nervous system of artificial intelligence. A company once known for helping gamers render shadows and explosions is now powering trillion-dollar industries, governments, militaries, Wall Street firms, and the future of AI itself. Its valuation crossed $3 trillion faster than almost any company in history. Not oil, not banking, not automobiles, a chip company. But Nvidia's real power isn't just silicon, it's control. Control over the software, control over the ecosystem, control over the infrastructure layer of the AI economy. And in the process, Nvidia may have created the most profitable technological moat of the modern era. This is the story of how one company became the logic gate of the AI revolution. Nvidia was founded in 1993. At first, the mission was simple: build graphics processors powerful enough for video games. The company's GPUs, graphics processing units, became famous for rendering realistic environments, physics, and motion. But hidden inside gaming hardware was a much larger opportunity. Unlike CPUs, which process tasks sequentially, GPUs are designed for massive parallel computation. Thousands of tiny calculations happening simultaneously. That architecture turned out to be perfect for something far more important than gaming: artificial intelligence. Training AI models requires processing enormous amounts of mathematical operations simultaneously, and Nvidia's GPUs happen to be uniquely suited for that task. By the 2010s, researchers discovered that Nvidia chips could dramatically accelerate machine learning workloads. Then came the explosion: ChatGPT, generative AI, autonomous systems, AI copilots, drug discovery, robotics. Suddenly every major tech company needed one thing: Nvidia hardware. Today, Nvidia powers the AI infrastructure behind nearly every major frontier model on Earth. But hardware alone doesn't explain a $3 trillion empire. The real advantage lies deeper, inside the software. Most people think Nvidia wins because it builds the best chips. That's only partially true. The real fortress is CUDA. CUDA, short for Compute Unified Device Architecture, is Nvidia's proprietary software platform that allows developers to program GPUs efficiently. At first glance it sounds technical, but strategically, CUDA may be one of the greatest lock-in mechanisms ever created in modern business. Here's why. Over nearly 2 decades, millions of developers, researchers, universities, and corporations built their AI tools around CUDA. Entire AI frameworks were optimized specifically for Nvidia architecture. Thousands of libraries, research papers, developer workflows, enterprise systems, all dependent on CUDA compatibility. This created an extraordinary switching cost, because changing from Nvidia isn't as simple as swapping one chip for another. It means rebuilding software stacks, retraining engineers, rewriting workflows, risking performance instability. For hyperscale companies operating billion-dollar AI systems, that transition cost can be catastrophic. This is where Nvidia stopped being a hardware company and became a platform company, like Windows in the 1990s, or iOS in mobile computing. The more developers use CUDA, the more valuable Nvidia hardware becomes, and the more Nvidia hardware dominates, the more developers build for CUDA. That is a network effect, a self-reinforcing loop. Competitors like AMD and Intel can build powerful chips. But matching silicon performance is not enough. They must replicate an ecosystem built over 15 years. And ecosystems are far harder to copy than hardware. Nvidia's gross margins have reached levels usually reserved for software companies, often exceeding 70%. In some quarters, approaching 80%. For a hardware business, these numbers are almost unheard of. So how is Nvidia charging so much? Simple. Because customers are not buying chips. They are buying time. Training frontier AI models can cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Every week saved in training time matters. Every percentage increase in efficiency matters. If Nvidia hardware helps a company launch its AI model months earlier, the economic upside can be worth billions. In that environment, GPU's pricing becomes almost irrelevant. This shifts Nvidia into an unusual economic position. The company is no longer competing on manufacturing cost. It's competing on strategic necessity. And when a product becomes strategically necessary, pricing power explodes. That's why companies continue paying extraordinary premiums for Nvidia systems. Not because they are cheap, because not having them may be even more expensive. For decades, oil powered industrial economies. Today, computation powers digital economies, and Nvidia sits directly in the middle of that transition. Every AI model requires compute. Every intelligent system requires compute. Every autonomous machine, recommendation engine, simulation, and generative model requires compute, which means demand for AI infrastructure may not be cyclical in the traditional sense. It may become foundational. This is why investors are treating Nvidia differently from previous tech booms. Not as a temporary gadget company, but as infrastructure, like electricity, like cloud computing, like the internet backbone itself. And infrastructure companies historically become extremely powerful because once society builds on top of them, replacing them becomes nearly impossible. But no rise this fast escapes skepticism. Critics argue Nvidia is experiencing an AI bubble, that valuations are disconnected from reality, that demand will slow, and history gives them reasons to worry. The dot-com bubble promised a technological revolution too. Most companies disappeared, but the internet itself still changed the world. That distinction matters. Even if AI hype cools temporarily, the long-term infrastructure build-out may continue for decades. Governments are investing. Corporations are investing. Defense sectors are investing. The AI arms race has already begun. And in gold rushes, the most durable businesses are often the ones selling the tools, not the prospectors. That's exactly where Nvidia sits today. Still, risks remain. Competition from AMD, custom AI chips from Google and Amazon, geopolitical tensions around Taiwan, and increasing regulatory scrutiny could pressure Nvidia's dominance, and no company maintains technological leadership forever. But as of today, Nvidia possesses something extraordinarily rare. Technological leadership, software lock-in, developer loyalty, and massive pricing power. All at the same time, Nvidia did not simply ride the AI wave. It built the toll roads beneath it. The company understood a critical lesson earlier than almost anyone else. In technology, the real winners are not always the products people see. They are the invisible systems everything depends on. CUDA became the moat. GPUs became the infrastructure. AI became the catalyst. And together, they transformed Nvidia from a gaming company into one of the most strategically important corporations on Earth. The question now is no longer whether AI will reshape the global economy. The question is, how much of that future will flow through Nvidia? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the economics of technology, power, and global markets, subscribe to AlgoEconomics, where we break down the business logic behind the world's most important companies, industries, and economic shifts. Because in the modern economy, understanding the system is the ultimate advantage.